During University of Michigan Inclusive Leadership Workshop, Dr. Rushing struggles with responding to Matt Walsh's "What is a woman?" question.
If you're looking at the comment that they shared was, I was just sharing in my group how one of my coworkers challenged my identity using the trick question of, what is a woman? And they unfortunately did not have a chance to, debrief with their group. So I don't know if anyone has a way to respond to like shut that down in the moment. How can we be the bystander in that moment? How can we interrupt the harm in action?
That's great. It never gets old. It never gets old for me. I cannot think of a question that is less of a trick question than what is a woman? Okay, first of all, who the hell dresses like that for trench warfare? That's what I'm trying to understand. So there's a war? Well, hang on, let me put my leather leotard on. And she's not impervious to bullets, right? She's not. So just like her little bracelets are impervious to bullets. So she's got 20 German guys firing at her, and none of the bullets hit any part of her body except for a couple that she can deflect. In order to block a bullet, she'd have to move her arm so quick that we don't even see it move. And yet she just kind of casually, there's a bullet. The other guys, they get out and they start charging towards the German guys. But then inexplicably, the German guys also get out, and it's like Braveheart. That's not how trench warfare works. You stay in your trench and you just shoot them all. You mow them all down. And then when that happens, Wonder Woman jumps in the air, 50 feet and lands in the trench. Well, then why didn't you do that to begin with if you had that ability? She starts just kind of casually walking into the middle of the firefight and then realizes, I can do a super jump and just end up there. This is all to be expected for one of the lamest, corniest superheroes to ever be invented. Sex is not a morally neutral playing field. How could it be? Sex is an interaction with another human being. There's no interaction to begin with that's morally neutral. But in this case, it's the most intimate sort of interaction. It involves the most intimate sort of physical contact. You are engaging with someone who is in their most vulnerable state. Sex is an act laden with consequence. Of course, there are proper ways to go about it and improper ways. It's not just a forum to get your kinks out. The problem with many kinks that we're supposed to accept or even celebrate these days is that they don't respect the dignity and God-given value of the other person involved. Okay, so often these are things that are degraded and disgusting and perverse. There are proper ways and improper ways of interacting with someone in even a casual environment. But sex is not casual, no matter how much we try to pretend otherwise. And so if there's a right and wrong way for even casual interactions between humans, then how much more must that be the case for sexual interaction? This is something women do. And look, ladies, you have to realize that you do this. If you have information that you want to pass on to someone, you always start way further back in the timeline than you need to. That's the scourge of existence for women. They're always complaining, the men, they don't remember, they don't listen. It's because you're giving us way too much information, okay? And that's not how our minds work. We can't retain all that. We're looking for the point, and that's where we home in. Think about how much of a hellhole of a city you have to be if you can't even keep your Walmarts open.
Police say they're finding their resources stretched thin, responding to calls for incidents at Walmart.
This is quite a statement. I knew Portland was bad. I don't think I've ever been there. I have no interest in going. This is even worse than I thought. You can't even keep your Walmart open? Any of them? Your Walmart, okay, the Walmart in your town should stay open no matter what happens. Flooding, storm, hurricane, tornadoes. Walmart stays open. There could be an asteroid strike and Walmart will stay open. There could be a nuclear holocaust and the only two things left alive are cockroaches and the Walmarts they live in. And that's usually the way it goes. Nothing can bring down a Walmart. The Walmart will be there forever. And yet Portland finds a way to kill them. All of them. Hundreds of teenagers stormed the streets of downtown Chicago, smashing car windows, attacking bystanders, and sending panicked tourists running from the sound of gunfire. A woman who identified as a Chicago native told Fox 32 where are their parents at. All right. You get the general idea. This is why I don't want to hear anything from Brandon Johnson or anybody else about racism in Chicago. I don't want to hear anything about that. The entire city is run practically by people who are not white. So I don't want to hear about racism. How about you parent your damn kids? Okay, how about you do the bare minimum to take care of your own kids and parent them and teach them how to be contributing, decent members of society? Something. Rather than doing nothing, because a lot of those kids that you see in Chicago there, they've had zero parenting. There's been no effort made at all. Mrbeast has been put in an extremely difficult situation because he built a multi-million-dollar empire with innocuous, family-friendly content targeted at kids, and now his friend and collaborator and sidekick has decided to turn these videos into a sort of visual journal of his gender transition. So Mrbeast has a choice. He can either kick Tyson off of the team and then be excoriated as a transphobe, or he can come out fully in favor of transgenderism and he can stay, therefore, in the graces of the good graces of the media and LGBT activists, even if it means alienating a huge portion of his fan base, and especially the parents of his fan base. Well, unsurprisingly, he chose the latter. And now that he's gone down this road, there's really no coming back. You can expect much more pro-trans content from Mrbeast going forward. I've seen some conservatives making fun of this and calling it woke. It's another woke, inclusive, PC thing, is what some are saying. And I'll admit that in the first moment after I saw this headline, I almost had that reaction because I saw the term inclusive Barbie doll, and my first instinctive reaction is to roll my eyes because 99.9% of the time, it's going to be something stupid. But then there's the 0.1% of the time when it's actually something good. And this is the 0.1%. We don't want to be like dogs, barking whenever we hear a car in the driveway, no matter who's driving it. We want to have discernment, right? And we should have it here. Down syndrome people really do need to be included. We do need inclusivity campaigns for them because Down syndrome people, especially children, are being excluded from society in the most violent and bloody ways. They're being exterminated by the abortion industry. If you don't need no man, as you suggest, then I sure hope you don't expect men to pay for your meals when you go out on a date. I hope when that check comes, you're reaching for it every single time. But as we know, classic thing, I have never heard of a feminist who remains a feminist when the check hits the table.
I don't care, man. Dude, you are the worst human being known to mankind. I want you to know that what you have done to this state, to the United States, to everything else in this world, I don't care that you're not here. What you have done to people's families, what you have done to everybody else in this society. Son, don't call me son, one. Please stand.
You can't sink if you're flexing in the shallow end passively. You can't think if you're burning gas aggressively. That's why it stink like a skunk is standing next to me. Should stop and smell the roses, I'm supposing. Be grateful for the beauty, cut the thorns from my focus.
If he started an OnlyFans and started just like running through chicks like for content, would you have an issue with him like just fucking other chicks for content?
Oh, of course I would, because I'm already making so much money. He doesn't need to do that. And
Wait,
he's mine. He can't touch
hold on.
anyone. So.
Whoa, okay.
So, yeah.
We've unraveled another layer here. So if he was making content, strictly content, no romantic, no emotional connection, you would have an issue with him sleeping with other women.
Well, of course, because I'm the one making money, and he doesn't need to touch anyone else.
Well,
I don't even want to touch anyone else.
Listen,
but
Mick's a handsome guy.
Yeah, but he's mine, so anyone touches him, you die. Not literally, but you know.
So why is it okay the other way around then?
Well, because we both decided this is what we're gonna do for money. So if he wants to have me quit, I will, and he needs to find another job that's not what I'm doing. So.
What's your body count? Body count doesn't matter. What's your body? Oh my god. Okay, I'll answer for you since you're gonna not answer. It's 73.
That's fucking rude. And very presumptuous of you.
Why is it rude if body count doesn't matter?
But I could say that yours is probably
To him it does, so he's
Mine is 2.
Yeah.
During University of Michigan Inclusive Leadership Workshop, Dr. Rushing struggles with responding to Matt Walsh's "What is a woman?" question.
If you're looking at the comment that they shared was, I was just sharing in my group how one of my coworkers challenged my identity using the trick question of, what is a woman? And they unfortunately did not have a chance to, debrief with their group. So I don't know if anyone has a way to respond, just shut that down in the moment. How can we be the bystander in that moment? How can we throw up the harm in action? Sorry,
That's good. It never gets old. It never gets old for me. I cannot think of a question that is less of a trick question than what is a woman.